Today, I'm going to show you how you can grow your online fitness business in just 2 hours a day. So this is going to be really useful for you if you're either an in-person personal trainer or you have another job and you are time constrained and you want to know what is the most efficient and time effective way to get started with your online business. There is a little bit of background. I've done this twice. I did it once while I was a school teacher, which is a very, very, very time demanding job. And I've also done this again while I was a working personal trainer. So this has come from my own experience, as well as working with thousands of clients to help them start their online coaching businesses. And we're going to go through a couple of main things today, okay? The first one is, what are the major functions of the business? Like, what do you categorically have to do in order to be successful? We're going to go through what things you have to do within those 3 areas, and then we're going to talk about how to put that into a realistic timetable for something that you can actually do. Okay, so the best place to start is looking at the 3 major functions of the business, okay? Now, you have 3 major things to do as an online coach. The first thing you've got is marketing. Second thing is sales. And then the third thing is delivery. Now remember, there's loads of stuff you can do for your business, but we're really focused on the main 3 things that are going to help us get started and move the needle forward, all right? So these are the 3 main areas. So now let's get onto the things that you do within these areas, and I'm gonna start with marketing. So inside marketing, you've got a few different things, okay? You've got content ideation, and what we mean by ideation is basically like thinking of content, sitting down and actually thinking about what content you are going to post that week. Second thing is content scripting or writing. If it's videos, obviously you'll script it out. If it's like a carousel or an image, then obviously you'll do the captions. And then the third thing is editing. That's either creating graphics, creating the thing, or editing the videos, depending on which one. That is the majority of the marketing that you should be doing, okay? Now, we always recommend 5 posts a week. That is the basic. If you do less than 5 posts a week, you don't get everything inside the content plan that you need, okay? So if you only did 3 posts a week, it's gonna really, really struggle to get the right amount of volume into the audience to get people to buy from you. So what I would recommend personally is setting out 5 times a week. Now this realistically should take you about 5 hours. From ideation to scripting to editing, 5 posts a week. It will take you 5 hours if you're following a framework, okay? So if you want to get access to our framework, just join our free online academy, click the link below, you'll get access to like everything that you actually need to do. If you don't know what you're doing and you're just making it up as you go along, it's probably going to take you 3 or even 4 times as long, okay? So make sure, whether it's ours, whether it's someone else's, don't really care, make sure that you are following some kind of plan, because it's going to help bring down that time massively. Second thing is sales, okay? You're going to want to do sales at least 3 times a week, if not daily, if that's doable, okay? And sales comes down to a couple of things. One is DMs. The sales starts in the DMs by speaking to the leads that you've created with your marketing and booking them onto sales calls. That is a function of sales. And then the second thing is sales calls. Now you're gonna see a lot of people say, oh, don't do sales calls, I don't do sales calls, blah, blah, blah. Nobody new starting out has got away without doing sales calls without a massive audience, okay? If you're sat here looking at this and you're a local personal trainer, or maybe you're just new to the personal training industry and you don't have a big fitness following, you're gonna have to do sales calls. It gives you the best chance to generate new clients. If you don't do sales calls, you're going to need so many more leads, which means doing more marketing and more content, all right? So we always do DMs and sales calls for 90% of businesses that we start with, because it's the most effective with a small audience, okay? And again, this is gonna vary, but you're probably gonna need to do about another 5 hours. Now, how you split that out is I would probably do an hour a day of DMs and an hour of calls. And if you don't have a call booked in, then you would do more DMs, okay? And that generally gets you enough volume and gets you enough time in the inbox, learning this skill in order to get some clients out of it. And then the third thing is delivery, okay? Now this is gonna be variable, all right? But when you first start, it's more than likely gonna take you 1 hour to set up a client, and then it's probably gonna take you about 30 minutes a week to service that client. That's just in general, to be honest. So if you've got 10 or so clients, forgetting the setups, okay, it's probably gonna take you about another 5 hours, all right? Which gives you 15 hours of work, and that should get you, if you are charging correctly, 10 clients at around 200 a month is gonna give you around 2K. That should be enough to give you the confidence to allocate some more time to this process. Now, there's a couple of things that I would think about doing here that are gonna make this process a lot easier for you, all right? And this is depending on the time and schedule that you've got. All of the content, I would do in one day. Okay, so I would pick like a day off, a weekend day, something like that, and I would box off all of the content. And that means that the only things that you need to do within the week are sales and client delivery. Because these are live, aren't they? You're gonna speak to leads every single day, conversations need to be had, you need to have call availability every single day. You don't want people booking in next week because they're gonna have forgotten about the call or they're not gonna be bothered by the time they get there. And obviously for delivery, you need to be able to talk to your clients on a daily basis. So these are the ones that you're gonna allow an hour each day for. You can batch sales calls like together, so you don't have to do every single day for sales. You could do maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or depending on how busy you are, you can possibly do like a Tuesday, Thursday. You could even do a weekend morning kind of setup for that. Delivery needs to be done for an hour every single day. Conversations need to be done for an hour every single day. Batch your content, and that is how you should set up your initial business when you are looking at starting, okay? So it's gonna be around kind of 10 hours at minimum if you've got 0 clients, and then that's gonna creep up to 15 by the time that you're making $2,000 a month. But to be fair, that's the very start of a business. $2,000 a month for part-time work is okay, and this kind of scales, all right? Because you don't need to do any more of this. This stays quite constant throughout your business, and you don't really need to do any more than this, to be honest with you, because you should, as you start getting better at these two things, if you were doing say 5 hours a week of sales, you might actually be able to sign up 2 or 3 clients a week through that process, which is great. That means that you can quickly get to 20 or 30 clients. And then this is the only thing that actually rises, okay? So this is the thing that continues to get bigger and bigger until you get to like 30, 40 clients, and then you start looking at, you know, allocating your time elsewhere, getting some help into the business to help you scale and all that stuff. But that's a little bit of a different video for a different day, okay? So 10 hours minimum. Obviously this is variable as you start moving, and that is how you start your online fitness business. That is the time allocation. That is what you should expect when you look to get started. So allocate that time however you want to do it. Hopefully that was helpful. There's a lot of nonsense on the internet of like, you can grow a business in like, you know, 20 minutes a day or without doing anything, and I think that's bullshit, to be honest with you. I've never seen anyone do it, and if there was a way of doing it, then there'd be millions of fitness coaches everywhere with loads of clients that never did any work. And it doesn't happen. It is hard work, unfortunately, starting a business. So hopefully that was useful. That should really help. And like I said earlier in the video, if you want help to do that, you've got the Academy, which is free. You can join there, you can learn how to do all of this. You can learn how to do content, you can learn how to do the sales, you can learn how to do I'm writing on the thing, you can learn how to do all the delivery. If you want more help and you want some one-to-one help, okay, we can coach you through this entire process with weekly calls, with group calls every single day, with every single tool and template that you need to do it, and we can handhold you through this process, okay? So if you want to do that, just click the link below. There'll be a call link to book in. It'll be quite easy to find in the description. You're booking with one of the team. They'll walk you through how this might look, how we can adapt it to you and your life and your circumstances, and then we can go from there. So 2 options. Either of those is fine. Hopefully that was helpful, and I'll see you next time.